What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So there's been a few questions regarding my new suspension setup on my 2021 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road 4x4. If you guys follow me for a long time, before I have that setup, I had a 2017 Toyota Tacoma TRD Sport 2-wheel drive. And on it, I have an entry-level lift kit with the Bilstein 5100 front and rear, with the Dakar lead pack in the back and upper control arm, camber upper control arm in the front. But now I have the Kings 2.5 with remote reservoir, with also the cambered upper control arm for my new 2021 TRD off-road 4x4. So a lot of people have been asking, how do I like that lift kit compared to my other one? So a higher-end lift kit compared to an entry-level lift kit, a Kings versus a Bilstein 5100. So in this video, I'll be answering just a few questions, a few concerns that people have asked me about it. And again, it's been about a year, so I feel like I have enough information on the Kings to kind of do a comparison between the two. And this is mainly for overlanding. So I'm not talking about like trying to go fast on the desert. I'm not talking about rock crawling, anything like that. This mainly was on my 2021 Toyota Tacoma, third generation Toyota Tacoma, and mainly has to do with overlanding. So that's the kind of things that I like to do. So FYI, I'm not going to try, I don't have experience in rock crawling, not that much when it comes to rock crawling to compare the two suspensions. So this is mainly for overlanding and like light off-roading. You might consider light off-roading or whatnot. And again, this is for the third generation Tacoma, just as mentioned. I don't have any experience when it comes to any other truck beside that, not an SUV. So mainly it's just for the Toyota Tacoma, the Kings versus the Bilstein 5100. And just a disclaimer, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a technician. I don't open the shock up and know the inside, outside components of the shock. I'm just a simple guy that like to enjoy going out, explore, be outside, having fun. So that's including overlanding, something I come to really appreciate enjoying. So just FYI, I'm not a technician and know all the components. So, but if you guys are interested in knowing a little bit more detail when it comes to the component, there's a few videos I've watched and compared the two before I made the purchase that really helped me along to know the little bit more information between the shocks and how it help when it comes to overlanding, all that kind of stuff. So you guys are interested in a little bit more information, I'll make sure to include that those type of videos in the description below. But yeah, let's go into the difference between the Kings versus the Bilstein 5100 when it comes to overlanding, a higher end lift kit versus an entry level lift kit. All right, let's do it. So just a quick recap on the suspension kit I had on the 2017. It was the Bilstein 5100 front and back. And in the back, I had a heavy duty lead pack, the Dakar lead pack by Oman Emu. In the front, I also had the 288 coils to compensate for the meta bumper I had in the front. And obviously cambered upper control arm as was mentioned. So with that setup, it gave me about 2.5 inches of lift in the front and about 3 inches of lift in the rear. And that was about 4 to 5 years ago. So price has gone up, but what I paid with install and everything was $18.50. And I did buy the lift kit during a Black Friday deal. So I saved a little bit money. So FYI, it's most likely have gone up by now, but that was the price I pay about for that lift kit about 4 to 5 years ago. So with the new lift kit, the 2021 Toyota Tacoma, it was a Kings 2.5 with the remote reservoir. And in the back, instead of having change out the lead pack, I did add a leaf. So with that setup, I got me about like 2.5 inches of lift in the rear and then about 2 inches, I believe, roughly 2 inches in the front. And a cambered upper control arm as well, the same upper control arm I had on the 2017. So with that pricing, this was a year ago with the install, it was about $5,500 total for the King setup. So that will give you guys an idea of how much I spent on the lift kit and how long ago it was. So price obviously has changed. So just do your own research when it comes to the lift kit. But that was the price difference between a higher end lift kit, the Kings, versus the entry level lift kit on the Bilstein 5100. So have I noticed the difference between the two lift kit? high-end lift kit, the Kings versus the Bilstein 5100 entry-level lift kit when it comes to overlanding? And the answer is not that much difference, to be honest with you. Overlanding, most of the time, what we encounter, the trails that I've done, most of the time we encounter is like a little bit of ruts, a little bit of rocky section, obviously steep where you have to climb over. So for me, I feel like ground clearance and have a good set of tires is more important than actually having a high-end lift kit with a remote reservoir. Now, does that mean that the Kings is not that much different when it comes to the comfort level? Absolutely not. I can totally tell a difference, especially when you go fast. So a lot of time you encounter on overlanding trail, there's a lot of maybe washboard kind of terrain, a little bit of ruts here and there, a little bit of dip here and there. And that's where the Kings is so much smoother compared to the Bilstein 5100. But when it comes to most terrain that we encounter going 10 to 15 miles an hour, it's not that much difference. So having ground clearance and a good set of tires, a little bit of armor when you're overlanding is actually is key more than actually having like a remote reservoir for when you decide to go fast. So as you know, Kings is top of the line when it comes to racing shock, right? That's why they won so much award when it comes to the Baja 1000 and all type of those type of desert running and whatnot. So that's where Kings, I feel like the comfort level is just different on a different tier when compared to the Bilstein 5100. And on road too, I felt it's way more comfortable on road with the Kings setup, especially with the adjuster. I can adjust it. I can feel the difference when it comes to on-road performance. A little bit smoother ride, a little bit more comfortable. Especially for me, I use my truck for work, so I do have like a couple 100 pounds of gears, ladders, and whatnot in the back of my truck. So having able to adjust that for the smoothness of the ride on-road, I can totally feel the difference when it comes to on-road comfort level. But when it comes to overlanding, honestly, not that much different. So why did I end up buying Kings if it was not that much different when it comes to the Bilstein 5100 when it comes to overlanding? And to be honest with you, I just really wanted them. Ever since high school, I seen Kings on a set of Kings on a truck for the first time. And I always thought they were really cool looking. And Kings, yeah, it does look really cool on a truck, right? And they're around my area, so I always wanted, like, ever since I have a truck, that I'm gonna put some Kings on it. So I finally got a chance to splurge a little bit, as you can say, on a set of Kings, so I went with them. And it's because I did save money on getting my truck out of state. I bought it from another state and brought it back to California. So with that saving, I was able to finally splurge on a nice suspension setup with Kings 2.5 with the remote reservoir. However, if I was to do again where money was an issue, where I really want to overland, have a lift kit, I probably gonna go with something a little bit beefier than the 5100. So maybe the Bilstein 6112, I believe, in the front. So it's a little bit beefier, so better cooling power and whatnot. And then the rear, probably do something, the Bilstein 5160. So that was the lift kit I was kind of looking at before I decided to splurge on the Kings. So yeah, FYI, that's basically the main reason, is because I think Kings are cool. Ever since I seen them, I never, forgot about how cool Kings look. So that was the main reason I got them. And I was able to save a little money, buying from out of state and bringing it back. And with that money, I splurged and, got a nice set of Kings 2.5 with the remote reservoir. All right, guys. Well, hopefully this information is a little bit informative for you when it comes to your decision making, when it comes to getting a lift kit, whether you want to go on a higher end lift kit like a 2.5, Kings 2.5, or like a entry level like a Bilstein 5100 when it comes to overlanding. And again, I'm not some shock engineer. I don't know all the internal of the shock or anything like that. I just, from my experience this past year with the Kings compared to the Bilstein 5100, this is my own personal experience when it comes to overlanding, light off-roading, a little bit moderate off-roading, I would say. Again, I'm not like rock crawling, or I'm not bombing through the desert with these type of setups. So I'm just simply a guy that enjoy going out and camp, hike, overland, and sometimes that require you to have a capable vehicle, and that's including getting a type of lift kit. However, I believe that you don't need all this kind of stuff to go outside and have a good time, right? Even my two-wheel drive, I know a lot of people bash me on not having two-wheel drive when I come to Overland, but I was able to have fun the past few years with it. But having a 4x4 is a little bit more capable. So just get out there. That's the main thing when it comes to overlanding. Go out there with friends, have a good time. You know, you don't have to have a super high entry or high level lift kit just to go out there. Just get out there with what you have and enjoy the experience, enjoy the journey when it comes to being outdoor. And that's what I really enjoy. But you're going to find out that once in a while you will have certain things that you need, gears, and that including having a capable rigs to get out there and have fun as you get further and further into overlanding and different terrains and whatnot. So having a lift kit is kind of key when it comes to certain terrains, right? But the key thing is just getting out there. It's all about the journey rather than the destination. So I enjoy doing that with my friends, is being out there and enjoying the outdoors with them. So hopefully this information is somewhat helpful to you guys in your own research when it comes to lift kit and come to overlanding. And as was mentioned, I highly recommend you guys do a little bit more research. There's so many YouTube videos that will help you guys a little bit more when it comes to lift kit and how to choose and what type of lift kits out there for a certain SUV, truck, full-size truck, mid-size truck, all that on YouTube. And I'll link a few videos that I watched as well when I did my own research. Some of them, one is by Donut Media. They did a whole series on high-low, and they break down when it comes to higher end stuff when it comes to overlanding versus the lower end stuff when it comes to overlanding. So I found that series very helpful. And another channel I watch is Shock Surplus. The guy there is very informative when it comes to letting you guys know the other component of the shocks and how it is when it comes to performance on overlanding, off-road, or you plan to go fast or race with them if you want. So those type of videos was very helpful for me personally when I decided to do research on lift kit. And I'm not bashing on Kings. I think Kings is definitely higher end. So I love my setup. So if you're the type that really want the best of the best, I still highly recommend Kings. If you the type of person that is, okay, I'm gonna splurge, go for it, I still recommend the Kings 2.5. However, if you still feel like, oh man, I don't have enough money, don't go into debt. Do not go into debt having Kings or those higher end setup just to impress people. It is nice to have, but I'd rather that having used that money for experience, having fun, different gears, going out, having fun, rather than having a crazy setup, a lift setup when it comes to overlanding. Again, guys, this is just my personal experience when it comes to having these two lift kit, the Bilstein 5100 and the Kings 2.5. And if you guys feel like there's more questions or anything like that, just leave in the comment section below. I'll read them and try to answer as much as I can with the few years of experience I have with them to give you guys a little bit more information. And if there's things that you feel like I can learn, please let me know in the comment section below as well. I like to learn new things because off-roading is still somewhat new to me. I've only been doing it for like 2 or 3 years. I've have more experience when it comes to camping, outdoor hiking, that kind of stuff. So that's what's so off-roading is still relatively new to me. So I like to know a little bit more information when it comes to those type of shocks and learn more when it comes to off-roading component and whatnot. So, and if you guys enjoy this type of content, overlanding, off-roading, camping, exploring the outdoor, just consider subscribing to the channel. That's what I enjoy doing, going out there and just enjoying nature and being outside. So if you guys do like that kind of stuff, consider subscribing to the channel. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next adventure. All right, take care, guys. Bye.